Football is a funny old business. At the highest level at least, the game is awash with cash. But whilst club turnovers continue to skyrocket and reach record highs, clubs' profit and loss figures don't quite reflect this. Certainly in modern football, you have to spend money to have any kind of success. But in many cases, it seems you have to spend money, keep spending money, then even more money, and so on and so forth every single season should you wish to compete. Debt is not necessarily a dirty word in football. Some clubs in healthy financial situations have enormous debt, whilst others in more perilous circumstances have lower levels of debt. As with any debt, it often comes down to who the debt is owed to and the overall financial position of the club in question. So before any fans head to the comment section, ranting and raving about shirt sales and commercial viability, we know. This 7 is purely based on overall net debt, and the figures are taken from UEFA, based on the accounts published by each club over the summer. Here are the 7 clubs with the highest debt. CSKA Moscow, 194 million. 2 Russian clubs rank among the top 20 in Europe in terms of debt mounted, and in 7th place, ahead of the likes of Juventus and PSG, are CSKA Moscow. The most successful club in Russia over the last 5 years, CSKA were the official club of the Soviet Army during the Communist era, and Russia's Ministry of Defence remain as a shareholder to this day. The club's debt of almost £200 million is likely to be due in large part to them just having built a new stadium. The VEB Arena, which opened in September 2016, cost over £250 million to construct and boasts a skyscraper in one corner of the ground. AC Milan, £216 million. Traditional giants of the Italian and European game, AC Milan haven't finished in Serie A's top 5 for the last 4 seasons now, and currently find themselves 8th in Italy's top flight. Milan came under new ownership in 2016, when Silvio Berlusconi brought his 31-year reign as owner to an end, selling the club to a Chinese investment management company. The 7-time European champions have paid big fees for the likes of Carlos Bacca, Alessio Romagnoli, Andre Silva, and Leonardo Bonucci in recent seasons, and are currently losing around 70 to 80 million euros every season. Queen's Park Rangers, £242 million. It's quite incredible that QPR's name is among Europe's elite when it comes to their debt. Whilst clubs like PSG and AC Milan can maintain high levels of debt, QPR aren't quite in the same boat. A championship club for the last 2 seasons, and currently closer to dropping down to League One than they are to making a return to the Premier League, the Arts' finances are a mess. Ever since promotion to the Premier League in 2011, they have spent wildly beyond their means, with a crazy wage budget that their playing squad couldn't justify. In addition to their spiralling debts, they were hit with a world record £40 million financial fair play fine back in October of this year. Valencia, £247 million. After a turgid couple of seasons which both ended in 12th place finishes, one of Spain's most successful clubs, Valencia, are back among the big time this season. They currently sit 3rd in La Liga, ahead of Real Madrid, and billionaire owner Peter Lim may be hoping the club's turnaround in fortunes will increase his popularity. Valencia have been in a precarious situation financially for a number of years now. They began building a huge new ground back in 2007, but work was never completed due to the club's financial situation. So for years, Valencia have been a club with 2 stadiums, one which they couldn't afford to build and another which they were unable to sell. The club was taken under the control of local government in 2013 before Mr. Lim's arrival in 2014. Inter Milan, £265 million. Both Milan giants feature in this 7, with Inter Milan having the 3rd highest debt of any club on the planet. Ever since 2011, both teams, who share the San Siro stadium, have suffered steep declines. Having been ranked as the 7th and 8th wealthiest clubs in the world in 2011, they now rank 16th and 19th respectively, with Inter finding themselves trading the likes of Zenit St. Petersburg and West Ham United. Both clubs have been poorly run and failed to exploit commercial opportunities where clubs like Manchester United and Real Madrid have thrived. Unlike their city rivals, Inter are at least having a stronger campaign this season, currently 3rd and only 2 points off top spot. Benfica, £291 million. Benfica have won the last 4 Portuguese Primeira Liga titles, reached the quarter-finals of the Champions League in 2015, and the final of the Europa League in 2014. Their financial situation is complex, but they have the second most debt of any club on earth, despite having only the 27th highest revenues. Renowned for their player development, every summer Benfica seem to make a big player sale, from Renato Sanchez to Nicolas Gaitan, Gonçalo Guedes, Edison, Victor Lindelof, Nelson Semedo, the list just goes on and on. In fact, since the 2010-11 season, Benfica have made more money from player sales than any other club on the planet, yet their debt remains more than 3 times higher than their turnover. Manchester United, £465 million. Whilst clubs across Europe have seen their debt levels fall as a whole over the last 5 years, it's been a different story at Old Trafford. With a 25% rise in a single year, the Red Devils top this 7 by an extraordinary margin. Although their debt, which is approaching £500 million, is eye-watering, it is manageable due to United's record income in recent seasons. The most valuable football club on earth, they posted revenues of £515 million last season. That's more than Spanish giants Real Madrid and Barcelona, despite a period in which the club has failed to compete for the Premier League title. So despite their spiralling debts, their debt is only equivalent to 80% of their assets, compared to 480% in the case of QPR and 610% in the case of Fenerbahce. Manchester United have the joint highest wage bill in the Premier League, costing them more than £5 million a week in salaries. And they have forked out enormous fees for the likes of Paul Pogba, Romelu Lukaku, and Angel Di Maria in recent seasons. So that's it for the top 7. Clubs which just missed out include Galatasaray, Juventus, Roma, and Sunderland. Thanks for watching, give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to HITC Sevens.